Today, I'm joined by my guest, Darren Joyce from Deeds Property. Darren, how are you doing?
I'm very good, David. Yeah, not too bad at all. Thank you.
Good, good, good. Wow. Deeds Property, or should we say multi-award-winning Deeds Property. Congratulations once again. But you guys have been pretty consistent at being pretty excellent at what you do, right?
We are as a company. We've been around now. We're going into our 6th year now of Deeds Property, and over the last 5 years of the 6, we've been very honoured to be part of the EA Masters Awards, and from Rightmove, and now they've gone over to On the Market. It's been really, exceptional service. Gold Award winners, for lettings in Liverpool. And again this year for 22 going to 23, we won again for exceptional service levels, and we're proud of that as a company and as a business going forward, and a new business as well. I mean, we're only coming into our 6th year of existence. Wow. So we're doing good.
That is fantastic. And what I love about what you've just said, it's just occurred to me, is the consistency of it. That yes, it used to be backed by Rightmove. It then moved over to On the Market. So you've been independently assessed by 2 different major entities, if you like, and you've met the standard each time. So it's really decent, isn't it? It's a good result. It's a great result. So today we're here to talk about your relationship with Pattinson Auctions, because you're here to sort of provide a testimonial for them. How long have you been working with the guys at Pattinson's for?
So as a company, we got involved with Pattinson's as a partner agent 4 years ago, and since onboarding with Pattinson's Auctions, it's been a brilliant sort of avenue for us as a company to offer something a little bit more up to date, more modern in the way of selling a property for a vendor.
And a lot of agents sort of see auction as a threat almost to a traditional private treaty sale. And when we go in and see a vendor, we sit there in their living room, we'll talk about how great we are as agents. And sometimes it's just screaming at you, my God, this is an auction scenario, either due to the circumstances or the circumstances of the property. Sometimes it's just the best solution for the vendor, but a lot of agents don't get round to that because they feel that it conflicts. But you guys have found the opposite, haven't you?
We've looked outside the box, and I've been an estate agent for 26 years now, and I've worked in high street agencies across South Wales, and very much, blinkered into sell a house on the open market, get the best price for the vendor, blah, 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 and all the rest of it. But what we've done as a company is look forward thinking as a business, and how can we help our vendors get the best results for them, i.e. the best price for that type of property in a current market, which might not be so strong, or might just be, a lot of fall throughs because of the type of property it is. So that could be non-standard construction, could have sort of issues with regards to failing mortgage valuations, with issues to the property itself. And all we've done is look forward to how can we minimize that sort of fall through for our vendors. And the most obvious thing that was out there was Pattinson's, who are again an award-winning company through EA Masters. They've won awards through them, and we become involved with that at that time. And we thought, you know what, this is a great solution for our vendors, because it means that they've got a secure sale upon accepting that offer. It's sold under auction conditions and is exchanged that day with completion in 28 days. Yes. So it's a no-brainer, because you've just got to look at the circumstance. It doesn't work for everybody, of course, because some vendors out there might not be able to move out of their property in 28 days. So it's not a one solution fits all, a one size fits all, I should say. Yeah. It's something that it's about being switched on to the market, switched on to your vendor of what they want and what they need from you as an agent, and just, tuning into that. And I think a lot of agents miss a lot of opportunities because they don't listen. And I think that's massively important.
I think you're 100% right, because there are so many scenarios, and they might not all spring to mind right now, but I'll give you one that happened with me. we took on a property. It had the boiler had been ripped out of the house, so we knew that as far as mortgage lending was concerned, not every mortgage lender was going to consider it. And in a climate where mortgage lenders are pulling out of the market, you have to make a decision whether or not you're going to take the risk of trying to find a buyer that can get a mortgage on it, or in actual fact, let's try and have an unconditional sale. And I think that's a scenario where auction really worked for that particular vendor, but it also works for the agent. And if you're the guy that's able to bring that solution to the table, you've got more credibility with your vendors.
Absolutely right. And I've gone in on the back end of other agents, local agents, high street agents who don't offer auctions. And straight away I'm on the front foot, because it could just well be that property is absolutely ideal because of the vendor's circumstances. They need a quick sale. They need to move very quickly because they've already moved maybe to another property, or the property is vacant and they don't want it sat around too long. So the auction route in those circumstances works so well. And it's just, again, just fine tuning to that vendor. And I've had them come back to me and say, look, you know what? The auction route is right for us. What do we do next? And then it's straight away over to Pattinson's, who pick it up and then work with it that directly with the vendor to actually make sure that it all falls into place for them and smoothly and as efficiently as possible.
Well, that was going to be my next question. So in terms of integrating your Pattinson's auctions into your new auction department, as it were, or your new offering, what was the onboarding like, and how easy is it in actual fact to sort of make that leap from you sitting in the living room to them starting to deal with the property in conjunction with you guys? Where do they start and you stop, and vice versa?
Well, as soon as I exit that valuation and I know that it's prime and they want to use auctions, online auctions, then I make a phone call into Pattinson's, which you don't have to do, but I have that rapport with the team in Pattinson's, which is fantastic. And I then have access to the Pattinson's dashboard, and the Pattinson's dashboard it's seamless. It's always updated. They always make it straightforward and easy to use. If I can use it, anyone can use it. It's that foolproof, because at the end of the day, it's meant to be a really easy tool to input the details of the vendor, input the address, a quick overview of the type of property you've been to visit, and the valuation. That the valuation is where you've discussed it quite sort of lightly with the vendor, but giving them an indication of where their sort of reserve should be set, and then where the starting bid should be set. Pattinson's do their own research as well, and then when they have that conversation with the vendor, they give me a call, but I always ring them because it's the way we work. But they would phone the agent anyway, just to have that sort of confirm the vendor's situation, confirm the price. And when they pick the phone up then to the vendor, it's seamless. You're talking the same, you're on the same page, you're talking the same, figures. You know, it's like as if it's done properly, it's like as if the Pattinson's sales representative sat in the office has been to the property themselves, because they know a lot, and the vendors are blown away by that, because they're like, wow, you know a lot about the property, but it's just a little bit of finesse.
That's super important, isn't it? Because what you don't want to do is come across as, well, yeah, I came to see your property and then I just passed you over to somebody else, and they had to go through the whole rigmarole again. And in actual fact, it's far more like that. Pattinson's almost yes, it's outsourced, but it's almost white labeled, isn't it? Because it's almost as if they're an extension of your own sales team. And when it comes to sales progression, so I mean, that's one thing. You're going to find a buyer for this property. We'll find out what the best bid is, and that will secure it. There is a certain element of pushing these things through. So where do you find in terms of the after sales service, if you like, or the customer service journey with Pattinson's, are they pretty good along the way in terms of updating you and also giving the vendors comfort?
Absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, basically that's a key point. And as a company, we've won awards on the back end of our customer service. So it's imperative to us as a company that we continue that level and higher. And the great thing with Pattinson's, it's all there. They can't hide away. They don't hide away. I mean, you can't. With the dashboard, everything is logged. Everything, regards to conversations, emails, it's all logged there. So you can see it's basically all date stamped. Every input is there, so you can see exactly what's going on. That is accessed 24/7 by us as agents, and also the vendors have an access to their own dashboard, so they can get an update 24/7 as well. But for an agent's point of view, it's imperative just to be able to log in at the end of the day and just see exactly what's happening with your properties and where they are, what activity is happening, where the offers are. And it's really exciting then, especially on at the end of the day, you might have had a tough day out there. You come in, you log into the dashboard, you can see exactly what's happened. And you might actually have 4 or 5 offers there, which are being negotiated by individual negotiators in Pattinson's.
Yeah.
And it's a really well-oiled machine. And as I said, going forward as a company is something that it just works, and it's just it's a joy to work with them as well. I'm not just saying that because at the end of the day, what we find as a company is working with, a like-minded company, customer care, customer service, vendor care, vendor contacts. That's the first thing. The first thing that would happen as well is if any of that broke down, the first person that they would phone would be me. So I know that my phone isn't ringing with problems.
It's good news.
Absolutely. And that's confidence for me as a business owner and my team out there, that I know that putting a property across the Pattinson's, you've got all that faith and support there to know that it's a job well done.
So at this point in the interview, I normally ask you about return on investment here, but we know that the only investment that you need to make is taking that plunge and working out how to sort of work it into your repertoire when you're going out there advising vendors as to what their options are going to be. So that's because it comes as a free service to you, but there are also financial benefits to this overall, to using auctions in this way. Do you want to touch on that briefly?
Of course I can. Yeah, no problem at all. Basically, the return on investment, as you quite rightly said, David, is zero, because ultimately there's no outlay for us. We don't have to pay a monthly subscription to Pattinson's to be part of their network. I think with Pattinson's, they take on like-minded agents. So I think if you are not up to that level, you will find it very difficult, because all of a sudden then you're going to struggle. But as an agent that's switched on and actually motivates their teams to actually strive to be the best in their industry, we looked at Pattinson's as another avenue for income as a business. And the great thing is that they support us massively with loads of stuff. I mean, you quite rightly said earlier, I'm just going to pass some stuff over and just show you. We're basically, it's a white label company. They use us as part of their brochures. So they put out auction guides. So again, this is something that we use, when we're with vendors. It's a good booklet there.
It's a great guide. Very professional leave behind, isn't it? Yeah.
And we get leaflets as well that we can leaflet drop, showing that the massive thing for vendors is there's 0% for sales fees.
Yeah. So
again, there's no outlay for us as a company to be part of this. But the other great thing or benefit for our vendors is that they don't have a sales fee to pay, because the whole point of selling a property through auction is having the buy-in from the buyer, that once they are committed to make that offer, then they pay a buyer's premium. So that safeguards the vendor, because they know they've committed quite a bit of money to put down as a buyer's premium to buy that property. So there's no fall throughs. You get the exchange straight away. That day is accepted, is exchanged. The vendor has peace of mind that 28 days later, the sales progression team kick in, and then 28 days later, the sale completes, and us as the agent will go out and meet the new owner with the keys.
Yep, and your commission's been accounted for direct from Pattinson's, and your vendor, your seller, your client has sold their house, it hasn't cost them a penny, they've had excellent service, excellent advice, they're still getting that same trademark deeds property service that you're famous for,
Yes.
just with an added angle on it. And I think that is, if you want to integrate auctions properly, this is the way to do it. You've really sort of nailed it, and it's fantastic to see that you've had such great success with it.
Absolutely. And the other thing as well is that we get paid. The other thing we haven't touched on, David, is that the great thing for us as an agent, I mean, in this day and age now, going forward with the markets, etc., we don't know what's happening out there much because it's all changing, but nothing will change with the auction route. So the great news is that once a sale is achieved, then as an agent, we get paid our commission straight away. So upon exchanging contracts, the buyer's premium is paid. So Pattinson's will take their share of the fee, and we will get our fair share of the fee as well. And that is really, really important. It just means that from a company perspective, we know that we've got cash flow coming in on the back end of auctions, because we know once that property is sold, we get our commission immediately upon exchanging contracts. So we've got no issues of not being paid. We've got no issues of waiting 12 to 15 to 16 weeks to get paid. And that's if the sale goes through on the normal sales route.
Yeah.
This is a real secure way of selling. And I just think going forward, vendors are really warming to it. I mean, when we started, it was quite a new, angle. But the more that we've got more comfortable, more confident with it, and with Pattinson's, because it's all early days when you start off with a new concept.
New supplier, absolutely, yeah.
But it just works. And as I say, going forward, we are through and through Pattinson's as a partner agent because of their service levels to us and to our vendors, which is really, really key.
Fantastic. Well, it just leaves me to ask you two questions, which I know the answer to already, because you come across as a bit of a fan. But if you were to rate this out of 5 stars, where would you put it?
Well, I give it 6 stars if I could, David, but I'll go for the full 5. But on a serious note, I really would. And, I've been asked to do this based on our performance as the company. That is it. So that's the beauty, is that you're getting something from an agent that's real. And that's the difference. It's not falsified or anything like that. This is real. And if you have a look at, the adverts that are out there and the sold properties that are out there through auction, it speaks for itself as well.
So I was going to ask you, would you recommend this to other agents as long as they're not your major competition? I think the answer to that is a resounding absolutely.
Absolutely. And you know what as well, even if in your patch there is 1 or 2 other agents that actually will sign up because they'll see how good deeds are doing with auctions, and we put a board up with auctions on there so people can see that, they can see it's live out there, and an agent will get in touch with Pattinson's. But you know what, if you stay ahead of the game and stay focused on the customer, finding out their needs and matching auctions to that customer, you'll always do well with auctions.
Darren, it is beautiful to hear that, because it's a great attitude, and it's the backbone of what has become your trademark customer service. And it looks like, and it sounds like, all the awards that you've received are really well deserved. So congratulations to you guys once again on all your results at auction, and also being award winning. And thank you very much for your time and sharing your experience with us.
You're very welcome, David. It's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you for asking us to do this. Thank you so much.